Welcome to the maiden episode of our podcast called Everyday Shit, where we are going to be discussing everyday things and giving our opinions on it, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent. For the episode, we decided we're going to get to know each other as well as allow you to get to know us. So with that being said, the lady to my left, Gogs, your name is Gogs, but you don't strike me as a Zulu grandmother. So is Gogs short for something, or is it, where does it come from?
Yes, so my full name is Gordana, surname Zobanica. I am a purebred Serbian,
Okay.
Eastern European. Both my parents are Serbian. My full name, I don't know why they got to Gogs or Gogi. That's what my parents call me, but generally I am actually called Georgie. And so anyone can refer to me as Georgie. But yeah, I'm a Serbian and I'm from Serbian descent, and that's where it's from.
And were you born in Serbia?
No, so I was actually born here. And then my parents moved us back for a while. They didn't really like it, so we moved back to Joburg, and we've just been here ever since. And my parents fell in love with the place. We love it. You know, it's home to me.
Wow. Well, I guess I always say to people, South Africa's paradise. We have a lot of crime and things like that, but if we didn't have crime, then everyone would want to be living here. So
I think we get fed up, and then we want to leave and we want to explore and all of those things. But every time I travel a decent amount for work. And every time I touch down back in SA, I'm just like, home. I love it so much. The people, the culture, every single terrain we have here, which is best. So yeah, I absolutely love it. I do love it there as well. And it is my home as well. When I'm there, I feel at home, but my soul is here, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I also feel South Africans are just very resilient as well, in the sense that you tell me any other country where they can cut their lights twice a day, and we've got potholes the size of swimming pools, and we just keep rolling it. We eventually we can just get used to not having power.
Not to mention how we are on socials. When there are bad things happening here, we are not serious. We are not serious. We make jokes about everything.
Well, you have
everything.
To, I think. If you're not going to laugh, you're going to cry.
This is true. I think, though, we do it the best. I think we really do it the best.
Just in general, I think South Africans are quite likable people. I think we've got a very good sense of humor. Obviously, I know quite a few bombs and things, and they've been dying.
Yeah, but also, haven't we been voted friendliest country multiple times? Except maybe the Cape Townians, sorry.
Yeah, but half of them are not South African anyway.
That's true.
So it's all the foreigners living there that make it a bit. And also, I would also be that upset if the prices of everything were so expensive.
Yeah, this is true.
The rest of the country. So yeah, shall I start off with getting to know you?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm
going to do a couple of quick fire questions, maybe, which will make it easier. So I would say, let's go with documentaries or fiction. What do you prefer?
I actually don't watch any of it, to be honest. I'm not a huge TV person. Don't watch documentaries or anything like that. So I don't really know what I prefer there. I like once in a while watching a little bit of a true story about some a autobiography, but
yes,
a TV version, if you will.
Yes, I'm trying to think of one that has come out recently.
Oh, there was one recently about Avicii.
Oh yeah.
That one was really good. Okay. So once in a while, if it's someone that's that I'm really interested in, then I'll give it a watch. But otherwise, I think maybe my TV switches on once a week.
Okay. Yeah. Well, mine does also not come on a lot, but that's because I'm not home a lot. But when I am home, I do like to watch.
Care to recommend any? What do you prefer?
Well, I prefer documentaries generally. So I'm someone who likes to absorb information. So the more things I can learn about things, the better. Fiction I also don't like because I'm always I don't like far-fetched crap. So I've got to know something could be real. So even a scary movie, if it gets it's a dragon or something, then I'm that's never.
Okay, listen, scary movies, I can't do it. I'm scared. I won't sleep at night. Even as an adult, I can't do it. Anything with ghosts, and I think I can do scary things as in killers.
Yeah.
Because that to me is a very realistic thing. There are murderers out there, but extraterrestrial or ghosts, whatever, I'm out. I'm not doing it.
But don't you find that the real things are more scary? Because the chance that a vampire is going to catch you when you're walking in the park or something, especially in South Africa, I think vampires and those sort of things would have a tough time because they'd have to get past the electric fence.
The South Africans.
The security gates. your gated community. So yeah, I always say we'd probably have more serial killers in this country if we didn't live in prisons.
Yeah.
Where if you look at America and the UK, there's a lot of serial killers there, but it's because everyone leaves their door open. So
But listen, America has, like, no offense, but like some really crazy people out there keeping people in basements for 30 years, and they really have like different type of crime there.
Well, yeah, once again, also, I think, I don't know what it is about the Americans, but so there's a study on serial killers. So South Africa falls in the top 3 kind of countries in the world for serial killers, the amount of serial killers that they've had. So we had like 300 something odd serial killers since I've been recording it.
Okay.
Second is Britain with also like 300 and something odd.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
And then you have America, which is like 3,000 serial killers.
I mean, they are much huger.
That is a bigger country, and there is probably more population. But yeah, I don't know.
That's scary.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's why the aliens also always land in
Yeah,
America.
I don't know. It's always only
I've never seen them land, but they always land in America because everything's bigger and better.
But I will say, we digress. But you said you don't like the fictional stuff because it can be a bit, out there. But sometimes what I feel is we're just so stuck in our everyday lives that sometimes once in a while watching something that is quite far-fetched and isn't real is also nice. Like, to give an example, I'm a Marvel fan.
Okay.
Like, I like to watch all the Marvel stuff, whatever.
Okay.
That, I mean, obviously we know that it's so like, far beyond whatever is possible. But sometimes it's just nice to also switch the brain off and only watch crap that isn't ever going to happen.
Okay. See, I've never watched any of the Marvel.
Really?
Because once again, it's like far-fetched to me. So
I think you should tell me a documentary to watch.
Okay. And
I'm going to tell you a Marvel film to watch.
And then I'll give you a review. And
then give each other feedback. Okay, I like this.
I tell you what, as we said, also part of this whole thing is to grow as well. So we'll do, like we spoke about, the music and things like that. So so you'll give me a Marvel or a fictional movie to watch.
Yeah.
And then I will watch it, and then I'll give you a review on it, and then
you'll give me like a documentary or something.
Okay, that sounds interesting.
I like that.
All right, so I'll go think about this for next week.
Just me and TV. It might take me like several weeks to get there.
So we'll see how it goes, and then we'll decide on the next one.
Okay. I'm happy to do that.
100%.
Let's see if I can sit through one.
Well, that's the other thing. I battle to sit through things myself these days.
It's our attention span. It's gone. It's absolutely gone.
As we discussed, because of the whole TikTok, and Instagram short reels.
And I can feel it. If your reel or anything on TikTok doesn't spark my interest within that first second, I'm like, gone.
This shows you got to get better at grabbing somebody's attention very quick.
Yes.
Okay.
Have you heard the joke about the millennial pause?
No.
Oh my gosh. So it's this thing on TikTok, right? That they say, like, when millennials are making a video, they always have like this pause, right? So like they grab their phone and then they press play and then they go. And then they carry it, like they start talking.
Yeah.
Like, and they say like Gen Zers don't do it. Like they just grab their phone and they start talking as the same time that they press record.
Okay.
So like if you pay attention, people who are of a certain age, they'll end up like having what they call now a millennial pause. And that affects that attention span because I'm like, oh, you're taking too long to get to the point, and then I just go.
Okay.
So you got to do away with the millennial pause.
Kick off straight away.
Yeah.
And then you basically, okay. So yeah.
We fall in that category.
Well, yeah. I actually didn't realize how far back the millennials actually go. Because there's people that I would never have thought would be millennials. Well, I didn't think I was a millennial. That's dead honest. Until I sort of, but yeah.
I think you get different versions of millennials though, because you're in your 40s.
Yeah.
I'm in my 30s. And I think we're a different version of millennial. But we are millennial.
Yeah. For the time gap, we are millennial. But I do think. But then again, when I think about it as well, the whole gap is more like the way of upbringing to a degree.
And technology.
Yeah. So, for instance, what is the latest generation called?
I think it's Gen Alpha.
Well, anyway, the point being is they are people that seem to have no real sort of, I don't want to say accountability.
Oh no, watch us.
Yeah, like accountability, and they also want everything. There's no delayed gratification. They want everything. It's got to be instant. They want it and they want something now type thing.
I think what I've noticed with their generation is they want everything that their parents' generation had, but they don't realize their parents have work
Work.
all of that time
100%.
and really hard to get there. People are just working way smarter now and not actually harder. And it's a different world out there.
And I also think with every generation, values, strictness all get watered down a little bit. So like things that I would get away with, or what I could get away with as a kid was minimal in comparison to what kids today could get away with.
Oh yeah.
Like how kids talk to teachers and that sort of stuff.
Mm.
So yeah,
I completely agree.
and also once again, it's good in certain ways where we've now like gotten to a point where we accept more people socially.
Yeah.
Where in the olden days, a lot of things were frowned upon.
Yeah, there were categories and you had to like abide by them or conform.
100%.
You had to.
And if you were a certain way and
Nope.
you had to keep that shit inside. There's no come and express yourself or whatever. Where with every generation, I just feel like more things become socially acceptable. Some things are not better for it.
No, not at all.
And then other things are better for it because we also need to grow as a race or a human.
I mean, yeah, but it might, I don't know, in my opinion, it's going a little bit out of hand now. Now I'm like,
well,
oh gosh.
That is the problem. That's why I say with certain things, like for instance, this whole binary and things, it's a little bit, you know, like when
I was going to bring it up. I was going to say, like, you know, we have people identifying as wolves now, but like, I don't know.
But that's the thing. It's like, where do you draw the line? That's the problem, because I think that can just be a can of worms.
Oh, they got good old Trump drawing the line for them.
Well, yes. So you're either going to be pro-Trump or against him. But anyway, we won't go in that.
I'm not going to say.
Nah, we won't go in that too much. But yeah, as I say, there are just certain things where I think we're going a little bit overboard.
I agree.
And then there are other things that have needed to change just because we were excluding quite a lot of people
100%.
in a lot of ways.
I think on one front where I can say I'm really happy that with the progression is I really like that we all so open about looking after our mental health.
Yes.
But even that, I feel like sometimes we push it a little bit too far. Like there needs to be that happy medium. Okay, cool. Now we're acknowledging depression and anxiety and things like that and looking after it. But then also let's not take it to the extreme that it's like, I'm going to work because I got anxiety today, you know, and things like that. I think we just milk it sometimes.
And unfortunately, and also I just find that, but I think this once again comes from the dilution of things. We mollycoddle, or how do you say it? When you like baby somebody?
Coddle.
Mollycoddle.
Just coddle.
Coddle. Too much in the sense of,
no.
and therefore kids, like we're always trying to fight our kids' battles for them, and then they don't learn coping skills or how to deal with things.
Yeah, we reckon in cotton wool.
So, and the problem is, that's why I also feel like suicides are on the increase because people are not learning the skill set to handle setbacks in life.
I did read an interesting fact that the suicide rate was higher in males, not females.
Yeah.
You know, I think in our lives, we're just built to cope with stress on a different level than you guys.
100%. And I think also maybe from a, let's be honest, women go through a lot more difficult things in life, life-changing events.
I'm having a good time watching you like try and tread with your wording.
Yeah, no, because obviously women have, they got to develop and eventually have a period.
It just be crazy.
Yeah, and then maybe so that takes a bit of getting used to the first time that happens. You've got to give birth, which we don't.
I think we're just so much more used to being discomforted.
Yes.
And going through emotional waves and things like that. So I think we cope with it a lot better than what
I think women were used to being always, I don't want to say mistreated as such, but to a degree, especially in the older generations, you know, women were like, you had your place, and if you were outside the kitchen, your chain was too long. So, but so I think obviously you've come through a bit more hardship, so you've had to fight your battles to try and get to a more equal footing with men. So I think that also helps to build resilience and things like that.
Yeah.
Where with men, we've always sort of had the easy ride, if you put it that way.
Like yes and no. I mean, men also had to like go to war and stuff like that, you know.
100%, and also I guess.
But it wasn't an emotional thing; it was more like a physical.
And also I think like men have that added pressure, which I always think doesn't get acknowledged as much. Maybe you always had that added pressure to provide.
I think it's because you guys are very logical beings. So when something lacks logic, you don't know how to cope with it. Whereas we're very illogical beings. So when something lacks logic, it's not like a breakdown for us.
100%. There was somebody who once said, women don't let something like logic fuck up their argument.
Ain't that true?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. I don't care. I'm sticking with it. There you're going.
That's my story.
That's my story.
That's my
Yeah,
argument.
that makes
And
no
you go.
sense. I'm right.
Oh,
So yeah,
I'm using that.
that's why they say men will never be equal to women when it comes to arguing, because we get to a point where
No.
we have to come with logical facts. You ladies just shoot from
Yeah, we just don't know how to apply logic, actually.
Yeah,
It comes from inside, from the hurt, and then the logic leaves.
that's it. But once again, as I also said to you before, that's what sort of makes us a good combination, is that you have them all. Because if you just had men in the world, everything would be too logical. There'd be no emotion. Could you imagine what the kids would be like?
Yeah.
It would be robots probably, where women bring that little bit of a softness and a bit of
more
an
nurturing
emotional-
side.
Yeah. And as I say, like men draw the pictures and women do the coloring.
I really like that term that you used.
So
Did you come up with that? Did you hear it somewhere?
no, that I actually came up with myself. That I haven't heard. Yeah, that was just something. Well, that's how I do view it, in the sense that we create the structure, in the sense because we're logical. And we go like, okay, we need this, this, and this. Like it's how I give you an example, like buying a house. Then it's a man that will decide, like, okay, we need to have so many bedrooms, pool, whatever the case may be. And then the woman will come in and decorate and
We're like, we need scatter cushions.
and this is what we're going to do.
Homify it.
Exactly. And once again, same thing with a wedding. The man will say, right, we're going to have a wedding. This is the budget. Over to you.
Yeah.
Now,
Make it pretty with that
how
budget.
you spend it. Don't ask me what cake we need. Don't ask me about the flowers. You pick all the stuff. I just actually want to show up on the day and do what I need to do. But like, we don't really care too much, because I always think about it, because I see all my friends that have gone through this process, and then it's like, got to go cake tasting. And I'm like, you know what? I really couldn't give a damn about what the cake is.
Okay, I have to say, as a female, I also don't care about any of that crap. Truthfully, I mean, I've never been proposed to in my life. One day. But I don't think
You haven't got a file at home. Like,
No.
the minute that guy proposes and you're like,
Nothing, none of that.
and then you're like, right,
None of that. I
take
think
one.
sometimes women get so caught up in just wanting the wedding, they forget to want the marriage.
Yeah.
But I'm not one for like, to like not be mean, but I hate the first dance thing. I hate the gods. I like all those formalities. I just hate them. I hate them so much. And when I look at how much money goes into it, I'm like, I don't know, man. I'd rather maybe go to Italy. I don't know.
Okay, so now see we've gone on to that. So what would your ideal wedding be then? Would you do like a what do they call it? Go and elope? Go to
I think, for lack
Vegas?
of a better word, maybe like a doll.
Okay.
So I had friends actually where they got married in court, and then 2 weeks later they had actually rented out a space in a restaurant. It was large, and put tables out, and everyone ate, and really just had we had like a bash. It was amazing. We did have, like some people say, like little speeches here and there, whatever, but it wasn't all those formalities and everything around it. And this wedding was 12 years ago or something like that. To this day, I still always think about it, and I always say that was the best one I've ever been to. There wasn't waiting around with canapes and this and that, and my feet hurt, and I don't know, it was just like they really did it well from beginning to end. And I think I would do something a little bit more chilled like that.
I do agree with you on certain of the things. Like, for instance, there's nothing worse than when you go to a wedding and they're going for the photos, and it's like, hey, I want to eat. And when I used to drink, I'd be like, yeah, I just want to. And you're like, always like, okay, we can't start drinking too much too quickly.
No.
You got to still be compass mentis for when everything starts.
I think I wouldn't even want all of those like ridiculous amounts of pictures alone. Like, I think I'd be like, cool, let's set an hour aside for pictures, but like with all my mates, with everyone. Let's take a crazy amount of photos with everyone, make it fun, this, that, and then go have a good time. At the end of the day, we're there to celebrate that two people are coming together, right?
100%. Now, the things that
I have attended, I think, about 26 weddings in my life.
Okay.
So after going to each one, I was like,
you're a bit of an expert in this thing.
yeah.
So now the other thing is that we are maybe slightly disagree. I do like a little bit of traditional,
Okay.
in the sense of, like, I do like the speeches, because especially I feel like for me, to do the speech for my wife, to like tell her how she makes me feel, or the reasons for marrying
There's
her.
definitely something special. to that.
So you know, like, for instance, I like that whole idea of it, if that makes
Okay.
sense. And like your friends talking about maybe how you got together, and so I think it adds once again.
I do like
Adds
that.
a bit of colouring
I do
into
like
the
that.
picture.
Yeah, it does. I think I would cap it. I think I'd be
yeah.
like, okay, like two people, and like me and my husband or whatever. Not like every person saying a speech now to the point where you're like, oh, I'm tired.
No. So maybe I guess everything in moderation. But I do agree with you that there's a lot of other little nitty gritty things that, like as you said, the photos is have a photo. If you really want photos of you and your husband, have a photo shoot one day. But also I find that quite weird because they make you do all these weird poses.
So I have noticed that a lot of people do like the engagement shoot.
Yeah.
So you do get that opportunity to have a lot of pictures of you and your significant other. So, you know, maybe that's where you can nurse it because you don't have all these people waiting. But you've been married before. Did you do the whole like shabam? How did you guys do it?
We did it in court.
Okay.
And then, funny enough, she went out with her friends and went and celebrated. And I went to my year-end function with work.
and
then I got to the work and they were like, oh yeah, and by the way, Lucy just got married this morning. And everyone's like, so what are you doing here? And I was like, I don't miss a work function, eh?
Oh my word.
Take a day off. I guess a bit of context to it.
Yeah, I think we're going to need that.
Yeah. So we came over to South Africa. She was a British citizen.
Okay.
So we knew we wanted to be together, but it was a case of like I was never really one to push the whole marriage thing because I was always like, firstly, when it feels right, then I'll do it.
100%.
Secondly, I was like, I'm not overly obsessed with getting married. You know, like for me, that certificate doesn't really make a major difference to whether I'm committed to you or not. I know it does symbolize something.
Touch on that.
Okay, cool.
Good.
So, but what happened was we were continuously applying for visas for her. We thought if we get married, then we'll sort out the whole visa thing, not knowing that we still had to apply for another 5 years, till she's for 5 years and all these things. So at the end of the day, it didn't really work out how we planned it. But then what happened was, for her 30th birthday, I did propose properly. I took her to Mozambique. We had a house on the beach. And
that sounds amazing.
And then I sent her diving with the dolphins in the morning. And then I went down and I had mates that were standing at the top and I was writing, will you marry me?
That's so cute.
And, obviously I had a song that was going to play as soon as and I had a bottle of champagne. Although it didn't work out exactly how I planned it because...
Okay, so there's a romantic in you.
I'm very romantic when it comes to that. So, So what sort of made it not as to plan is she went on the dolphin diving and didn't get to see dolphins.
So she just went for a swim.
Yeah. So she got back and she was quite miffed about the fact that she didn't get. And then I was like, just come outside. There's dolphins. And she was like quite down because she didn't get to dive with them. But then obviously once she saw the
whole hurrah.
Yeah, then it was better. But yeah, initially she was just like, I'm not in the mood. I didn't get to see dolphins and so on. But yeah, as I said, so we did that.
I mean, lovely plan that you put together though.
Yeah, a lot of thought went into it. Let's put it that way. Because I was supposed to go dive with her because we went 3 days in a row to make sure that you see dolphins.
Okay.
And then obviously I had to pull a fast one and be like, listen, I'm not going.
I can't stay.
Yeah, I'm like, I've had enough now. I'm like, this getting up at 4 every morning is killing me. I'm like, I'm just going to chill at the house. Maybe that also added to her not being too happy.
Yeah.
Probably.
I'm going to say yes to that one.
Okay. So anyway, but yeah, then we were going to do the wedding proper. Because then I was like, look, I always want you to have like a proper wedding and so on. And we started planning it. But then we also decided to buy a house.
Okay.
And then the logical side of me came out and I was like, you see this house we're going to buy? We need to do a bit of work to it.
The money should go there.
I didn't say it should. I just merely suggested it. I went instead of spending all this money on
you planted the seed.
Yeah, I was like, instead of spending all this money on a wedding that's going to be like one day, we want to buy this house and we want to fix it up like how we want it and so forth. Maybe we should just do that. And then she was like, oh, but we've already sent out the invitations and this.
Did you? You sent invitations out?
So then I was like,
oh, wild.
So I was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, well, it was just a suggestion. We'll do both, but obviously it's going to cost a lot more. And then she had a chat to her mother, and the mother was like, listen, right, I think you guys should just plan the wedding and buy the house.
Her mother?
Yeah, her. Right? No. I wouldn't let my mother go. I wouldn't throw her in the deep end like that.
No.
Because that would be the quickest way to get my mother and my wife not to talk to each other.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Very clever.
So anyway, you wanted to touch on something.
Yeah, so you said the sentence that, you know, like getting married is just a certificate or whatever. So I was actually very pro like not getting married. Okay. I was like, So the way you said, like, you're quite a romantic, I'm actually like not really a romantic, to be honest. So I wasn't really for like getting married or anything like that. But I had recently changed a lot of my perspective on it. Firstly being that I'm someone who doesn't really I don't want to have kids.
Okay.
So one day I wanted to be that, like, the partner that I have is my family member, so that we have the same surname and we are actually, family, because I'm not going to have any offspring, if you will.
Yes.
The other thing is I actually had someone who was with their partner for like 10 years or 11 years. They weren't married. And he's landed up having quite a medical condition, landed up in the hospital for like in the ICU for whatever, certain amounts of time. And they didn't let her in. Like in the beginning, it was like this fight and this and that. And I think like for me, I would be so like heartbroken if 10 years later, like my partner lands up in the hospital and someone looks at me in the face and says, sorry, you can't come in, you're not family. Like,
Okay.
I was like, that would crush me. I don't know. And it's also just such a stupid concept to me. So I tried to actually apply the logic now with it.
I was going to say, you sound very like a man in your way of thinking, because that makes logical sense to me.
So I did. I thought about that and I was like, oh wait, actually that makes a lot of sense.
That's a fair point. Something which I hadn't thought about.
I think it's like a valid reason.
Yeah. See, when I said what I said was more from an emotional perspective, in the sense of, it doesn't change how I feel about you, whether I have it in writing or don't have it.
That's 100% correct.
And it's the same way as like, I always feel like if somebody's going to cheat on you, is going to cheat on you whether they're married or not married or whatever, whatever the situation.
Whenever did a marriage certificate change someone's mind when it came to cheating?
And also the thing was, because for us as well, because we had lived together at that time when I did my very cool proposal, not the one on the beach. I just walked into the room one night going, the visa's up for renewal soon. If you want to get married, let me know. And then I'm like, cheers, I'm going back to the lounge.
As someone who is a non-SA citizen, I understand that this is actually not the way it works. You cannot just marry someone and get papers here.
Yeah.
It's not the way it works.
As I said, we obviously at that stage were 27 and she would have been 29. So, I guess we didn't really know how, and I've never really dated a foreign person, let's put it that way.
Yeah, first time.
And then, obviously we just thought, well, you get married. Once you get married, then you don't need to do the visas. But then it was a case of, no, you'll still have to do it for the 5-year period till she qualifies for
permanent
residence.
It is quite a process in this country.
Trust me.
It took me forever to get my stuff, to be honest. That's a whole nother conversation that I don't have time for right now.
Yeah. But that was also the other problem, like our trips to Home Affairs, because this was before the VFS center. So we used to get up in the mornings, like, okay, so I
actually had like PTSD listening to you.
So we had to go to Germiston. So we'd get up at 4 a.m, drive through, go put your name on that little piece of paper, drive back home, sleep, then pitch up and then you get locked in like this little room like a refugee.
And the waits, you just wait and you wait and you wait. And then you get to the front and something's wrong and they send you home and you're like, I didn't get anything done today.
100%. So the long and the short of it is, as I said, it's just that we thought that would alleviate some of that problems. So, but anyway, it didn't end up doing that. But anyway, so
in conclusion, you would do a semi-big wedding?
Well, let's put it this way. I'm always keen for whatever my partner wants. So like, I'll give you an example. I didn't want kids. So I had this conversation with her when we first started dating. I was like, look, are you wanting kids? Because if you are, then we got to figure some shit out. Because I'm never like, no. But it is a case of, this is my preference. But I've always like said to her as well, like, if you really want to have kids, then like I know I'll be a good dad and stuff. It just doesn't come naturally. I don't have that urge to be a father. But I'm like, if you really want to have kids, and then I'll make a plan.
I think like once the task is in front of you, right, then you're like, okay, well, I want to excel at it. So you would then make the effort to excel as a father. But leading up to that, if you don't want it, you don't want it. Not to say if it came, you wouldn't excel at it.
Yeah. So that was the thing so like for instance, I've never been like close to it, but same with the wedding. Like I don't necessarily want to have a big wedding, but if it's your thing, if you're like, listen, this is like been my dream since I was a little girl. I'm never going to be like, nah, that's
you're not going to shut it down.
It's not a waste. It's a waste of money. I'd rather go do this. I'd obviously, once again, like I did, will be like, hear me out. Let me tell you what I think.
Let's apply logic.
Yeah. And then I give you all the fun facts and then you make the decision.
Don't call them fun facts. Ain't nothing fun about them.
Well, I guess, yeah, figuring it out might be a bit more.
Okay, well, at least it's nice and refreshing to see that as someone who has been married, you're still really open-minded to it again.
Yeah, like, let's put it this way. It's not something I would necessarily aim
Run
to do.
towards.
For no other reason other than it just complicates the separation process a little bit. Where, for instance, like if you and a boyfriend broke up tomorrow, you just all take your stuff, you go your own way. We have to do it through lawyers and
That
things
is
like
true.
that. And it's not as simple because we are so intertwined due to legalities. But once again, I'm also one of those people that like, I don't believe you should let past negative experiences.
You can't become pessimistic.
That's
That's
it, like,
the thing.
I always say that I believe in that saying where it goes, always got to love like you've never been hurt before. Because like
Oof.
that's
It's
something
not
no, I know you can elaborate on it a little bit more. But for instance, like I always just look at it and I go, because I've had so many people that I've now met since I've been separated, you see how much past trauma there's been. And like, and they've got maybe such a negative
outlook
on relationships and men in general. And then I just feel like, geez, I'm now taking the brunt of some other brother.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? Because you end up hurting that next person because of what someone in the past did. I had a moment of like that pessimisticness, where I was like, screw men, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to stay single forever, because I'd had like a series of people who had hurt me. And I'm also learning now to not think like that. Firstly, there are so many good humans out there. You just had the bad luck of, not even the bad luck, maybe you just weren't, that person could be a good human as well. They're just not compatible with you. So
100%. And for me, the thing is, as I say, I just see that there's a lot of hurt women. And then, as I said, like now they already have this whole negative perspective of it. I'm just going, you're not going to really get far if you keep looking at it like this. Like, okay, so I can see you telling me I want to find love and I want to find that other person and so forth, but your actions are stopping you from doing that.
Do you want to do the work that makes that person bring out the love?
Yeah.
That's the important thing.
Well, that is the thing where I think, especially with people like that, it's baby steps. And not just, once again, and this is a very true, words mean nothing. Action are the biggest thing.
I have also learned the power in like just be alone for a little bit and do the work.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to just go and find someone else, like whatever, you can cling on to the next person. Yeah. But you got to do the work, be alone for a bit, make sure that you're not sitting with all of that trauma or all of that, that you're going to land up hurting the next person. Be somewhat healed before you tackle the next thing.
100%. You have to do, because as much as we'd all like to believe we're not at fault for our last relationship, you did contribute. You might not have been the catalyst or the biggest problem, but it's more a case of that you also did contribute.
But even if you had absolutely, let's say, which is unrealistic, right? But really, if you were so hard done by, and now you have to go do all this healing, even though someone else messed you around, and they don't even get to contribute to it, right? Or whatever. You don't even get to ask them to contribute to it. You just kind of have to do it. Like I learned in life that you're just not going to get the answers you want. And as much as you're urging to sit and message someone and get that answer, you have to just do the work alone.
Yeah. But also, I've also realized that people are very emotionally immature in general, but maybe due to lack of putting in the work. Because ghosting is like a big thing, and to me, that's a big emotional immaturity in the sense of
can't stand it.
Rather have the difficult conversation and be like, look, let's sit down, let's have a chat. And I always do it if it ever comes to a point where I'm like, I don't want to do it over the phone because I want to sort of talk to you so that I can firstly gauge your reactions. Secondly, also hopefully you can see my genuine,
my sincere, like,
like, look, things aren't working. This isn't going the way I thought.
Way more respect to that.
And for instance, so once again, it's a very tough conversation to have. Don't get me wrong.
It is.
Everything inside of me screams, just send a text message.
Yeah. It's just so much. Send a voice note. I'm out.
That's it. But I did it once as a youngster. And up until today, it's still one of the things that bother me quite a bit. And I have told the girl like many, many years later, like, you know what, I really, well, I wasn't that bad. But for instance, we started seeing each other, and then I think she just got too serious too quickly, and it sort of like spooked me a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm not sure actually if this is like the girl that I really. And then like other people would be compounding it because I'd be like, oh, I just saw her and she can't stop talking about you. And I'm like, oh my Lord. And I'm like, like, I don't need it to get
influence, outside influence can also just can make or break something. Hey. And oh my gosh.
Because, like, for instance, sometimes if you take it slow, then we slowly but surely get used to each other and you adapt. But when I feel like it's being forced upon me, then I guess I get a bit of cold feet.
I want to run away.
Yeah. And then so, anyways, and then I just sent her a message going, look, it's not working out, but I sent it on SMS. Look, it's not, I didn't ghost her. I just said, look, it's not really working out. I don't think I'm ready. So
how long were you guys like in this for?
Maybe 2 months.
Okay. I feel like a message is acceptable for something that was 2 months.
I still feel I should have done it because we were friends before that.
Oh.
You see, so like she was a good lady friend of mine.
She deserved that.
And just because the conversation was going to be hard, and then I was like, I'm going to save it.
But some people are not confrontational, and so like I've had like a situationship where I've tried to be like face to face, like let's chat, and I like tried continuous times to be like we need to meet up and like have this conversation, and then eventually it got to a point where I was just like I'm not going to drag this now, and like I'm mopey and irritated every day now for like however long you're dragging this. So eventually I did end up also sending a message, but it wasn't for lack of trying.
Okay.
But this person was just so non-confrontational, and he like anything that was like even remotely getting into a serious type of topic, it was like, oh my gosh, no, I can't. And so I ended up just doing the message thing.
Yeah, which is understandable once again, because I mean it's like but yeah, obviously ideally for me,
just a face to face.
Yeah, if you can, because also it just shows a bit more respect.
It's not hard to do a pop for coffee and let's just get it out.
Yeah, I always do suggest not having coffee on one of these in case it gets chucked at you.
Have a water.
Yeah. No coffee. She'll have a water. What's wrong? No, trust me.
I want that hot thing around me.
I've got a lot of things that don't need extra heat at the moment.
Yeah, people do get that urge,
Yeah, especially if it's not what they want to hear. And also, but yeah, no, for instance, like I agree with you there. But also that's another thing that I do think is necessary. Like, especially when you're seeing somebody and it's a situationship. I think regular sit downs and chats and like be like, okay, it's been 2 months now. Where's your head at? Like,
100%.
what are you seeing happening here? XYZ. Just so that if you go, look, I don't know if I'm ready, and we get to like let's say month 6, then I can be like, okay, if you're not ready like in 6 months, do you think you're gonna be ready?
Listen, I think it's at 3 months.
No?
I think by that 3rd month, if you're still umming and ahhing someone, get out. Get out, because
100%.
They say 90 days is like that time, and you can't hide anything after 90 days or anything like that. Or as in my job, what we call it is product market fit, 90 days to see if your product market fit. And I think those 90 days are very accurate.
I do agree with you, although I will say that I think there can be an exception to the rule sometimes.
There's always exception to some things.
But I do agree with you. I think if you're really keen on somebody, you will start showing certain things within 90 days.
Yeah, like majority of people who are seeing happy relationships or who are quite successful at their relationships have said like, within those first 3 months, like they were quite sure.
No, and that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say 90% I agree with you on that. Like,
there's always that 10%.
Because I myself have sort of been in a situation where it's continued longer than that, but it's just because maybe once again, somebody in the relationship is extremely logical and you're running the numbers. I'm not going, I like this, I don't like that. Can I deal with it?
But also, exactly like what you're saying, in that beginning part, you can also be so hyped up on emotions that you'll end up thinking like this is the one sort of thing. I was with someone where I was so smitten for those first 3 months. My gosh, I thought I met the one. I'm so in love, all of this. And then like a year later, I was like, oh my God, what am I doing?
100%. And I can attest to that as well. Like the same thing. Met somebody, also I was like, sure, really like this person. And then fortunately for me, our paths got separated. And then obviously we hadn't seen each other for 3 months after that. And then after the 3 months, she made contact again. And then after that 3 months, obviously the love struck had gone away. And then I was like, you know what, we can be friends.
So,
But I just don't see us being more than 20 because
so
now
I think it's actually the 4th month then, you know, they say for 3 months, someone can hide like certain traits or whatever, but it always comes out after 3 months. So maybe that 4th month is the realization month.
yeah, and as I said, I think that because they do say like obviously being in love is like a drug. It makes you think irrationally. It makes you act irrationally sometimes. And
logically.
yeah. and my logic at least because as I've mentioned in the past, like, I was seeing red flags, but because you're so smitten, you're like,
They were right there.
a little bit deep.
And you were like, what's past this flag? I just want to see
I
it.
just, let's just go a little deeper. Let's just get a little. I'm starting to see big problems, but let's just and I think obviously when you had that split and you sort of allow your emotions time to like cool down, we like okay, then you go maybe through a little bit of like a disappointment and if you want to call it heartbreak type thing.
It is so, I mean, you do have some version of it.
Yeah, and then you as I said, that spell is gone.
It's like, what do women say? If it's a situationship and you're mourning, let's say it's because you're mourning like the potential.
Yes.
And then if it's like a long relationship, whatever, you're mourning like the past.
100%.
I definitely agree with that.
I do as well. Because exactly in this situation, it was the potential which I saw. Where like these are things that I really like and that I could see like these things happening because of those reasons. But then at the end, then you also just go like, geez, there was just a lot of things that were never going to fit.
Yeah,
We're
no,
trying to put
the
square
Delulu
pegs
didn't
around
fit you.
walls. And so, and thanks the Lord, as I say, these things do happen and maybe everything happens for a reason.
I strongly believe that things do move out the way so that other things can come into place or like, for you. And as much hurt as you go through, you will be fine. You must do the mourning though and like the work. But like, I do truly believe that other things must move out the way for better things to come. And
with everything, I think it's like that. Even for instance, past relationships where maybe you were together a long time and you had really big hopes and dreams for it and so forth. And at the time, or maybe a little while later, you look at it and you go, I'm sad that this had all fallen apart. But then one day something else will come along and you go, geez, I would never have found that. Like back then I was like, like that was what I really wanted and I should have tried to fix that and then something else comes along and you go, geez, I would never have met this person if that didn't happen.
100%. And I've seen it happen so often close to me. Like I have so many siblings. We're like 6 or 7 girls. There's 6 or 6. And
don't leave one out.
Yeah, so I've seen it with them as well. I've seen my sisters be completely down and out with people who were just crap people, and like within that next year meet someone so amazing, flourish, absolutely love them, get treated right, and you're just like, yeah. And you watch them at rock bottom yourself, and you see now that that has to move out the way to come in.
And the scary part is you see it from the other side, and you're going, trust me, you're not losing anything.
No,
you're not losing. This person was bad, but in your head you think like, like that was the perfect person or whatever the case may be.
I mean, I've had that where I was like, but he was the perfect one.
Yeah.
And then the Lord was like, no, he wasn't.
No, not. Yeah, so now that's as I said, all good things come to those who wait, I think.
Relationships it's always such an easy, interesting topic. It could go on forever, right? Because there's so many different things.
There is actually, and like I've just thought about other things that
I was literally about to ask you, like, what's your stance on like blocking, on like people blocking each other and unfollowing and things like that?
Okay, so for me, when it comes to blocking, like I've blocked my ex on social media and things, not because I'm now like don't want to talk to you, or because we still communicate by WhatsApp and so forth, because we need to, but I don't necessarily need to see what's going on in your life. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're with a new man or whatever, I don't want that shit popping up on my
I get my we don't have to watch what's going on now.
So like from that perspective, and the only other way, how do you not get them up? You see what I'm saying? So it's like for me, because I'm always that type of person, like I'm never the type of person that will, like, now that we've split apart, like stalk, go past your house, using your, because you know what, I'm killing myself.
Wild.
I'm killing myself.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, I don't want to know what's going on in your life. So I'd rather, so like for instance,
out of sight, out of mind.
Exactly. So like if I see mutual friends post pictures, and I'm like, I'm not even going to look at those pictures because I might see something that I don't want to see.
So true.
So I'd rather, so I'm not that person that'll be stalking your social media trying to see is there another guy in this photo?
I think it obviously is very natural, but like you want to go and lurk a little bit and you want to see what that person's doing or whatever. It's not always like a malicious thing. It's
No.
the curiosity does get you.
But you see, I just know that curiosity is never going to end well. Because what if you see something you
You
don't
don't hurt
want to
yourself actually. Yeah.
Exactly. I'd rather be like,
Mm.
out of sight, out of mind. What I don't know, don't hurt me. So
I think like a constant blocking, unblocking, blocking, unblocking, that's like really unhealthy and that's just really childish.
yes.
But I think just one constant, like, okay, cool, we're going to remove each other off everything, whatever. I guess I'm listening to your logic and I'm realizing, and the reason I'm saying is, so I did this thing right where I went out and I drank a decent amount, right?
Okay. Oh, and that
And I
always
drunk
leads to
texted my ex.
that always leads to good decisions.
Oh, I got the next day to a reply from him. And I'm
Okay.
like, this is strange. Why is he messaging me? And then I opened it up and I realized because I flipping messaged him at 2 a.m. when I was drunk. Nothing like crazy, not like I miss you or anything like that. But I'd sent him a message saying, I'm curious, we were on good terms. Why'd you remove me off everything? Like, why have you unfollowed me? Blah, blah, blah. But I'm listening to your logic now and I'm like, I mean, I get it, I understand. It was just that he probably had a thing of, I don't want to watch like her life anymore, whatever. I need to move on or detox myself of it or whatever.
And because regardless of whether you're okay with how things ended or not, I guess you always deep down want to be like, I don't want to know that there was somebody better than you, who made you happier than I did, or whatever the case may be, even though surely there must be. But yeah, like in that case, that's just why I'm just like, as I said, I haven't blocked on like WhatsApp or whatever, but it's more just a case of like, I don't need to follow social media. I don't need to see any of what her friends are doing because she's 9 out of 10 being.
No, I get it.
And for me, it just makes my life easier because I'm never like stressing about shit and whatever. And then also, as I said, like for instance, I try and be quite respectful as well. So like I've obviously blocked her on like certain things like profile pictures and because let's say for instance, I eventually find a significant other and so forth, I wouldn't want to rub it in her face. You know what I'm saying? And
it's a very gracious way of looking.
Yeah, just because once again, I don't think I would have liked to have seen it. So, and I always think like your really good friends will never be like, oh, I saw her with this guy. And
right.
like I don't think like your true mates will never do it, but people that like drama will be like, oh, did you see who he's dating? Did you see who's dating now?
Though I don't know if I can agree with that logic because like women are like that. And honestly, I can love the shit out of you, but if I see that like a picture or something, I'm gonna be like, girl, did you see this? Like, because I know that's how we are. We want to, we want to see everything, and we hurt ourselves looking at it, but we want to see.
Yeah, you see, like if I'll give you an example. If I see my best friend, his wife has moved on with another guy, I will never feel.
Really?
I'll be like, have you seen so and so? No, I haven't seen him in a while.
Oh no!
Just because I'm like, you don't need to know this.
No, us women are the opposite.
You don't need to know this. This is not good information.
Oh no, it would be like screenshots on the group chat. Look at this, ladies.
Yeah, I have
look at this piece of
no. That I have experienced firsthand. We had a couple where the guy had an affair, and on a regular basis in the evenings, all the street, look at this new girl, look what she looks like. This is and that, and there was always the ladies were always gathering, like all their friends were like stalking all the social media so that she was.
Why are we like this? Why are women like this? How do we cause this pain on ourselves?
Because I don't think you think about it logically, you think about it emotionally. So once again, it goes back to that way. Logic, as I said, for me, it's logical to go. I want you to be happy. I just don't want to see it. If you know what I'm saying.
I like that. Yeah.
Like, for instance, as I said, I don't want to see you starving, but you just won't be eating at my table. So,
I like that.
So, yeah, from that perspective, that's why I think like that's how I look at it. Like, as I said, I never wish any bad upon you. I just don't want to see you excelling and thriving.
Yeah. Go do it.
Yeah.
Just I don't want to see.
I don't just want to know about it. If you're doing well, I'm glad.
Yeah, I have so much more of understanding to that answer now, like to that question that I had. And I'm just going to leave it alone and not do that again.
Yeah, well, once again, also, I guess, but I do agree with you that blocking sometimes can be childish, especially, once again, if it's blocking, like we've added where friends, they'll get into an argument and then you'll block each other and then tomorrow you're friends again.
That's like, I can't stand that.
So like, if I block you, then it's pretty much me saying,
this is a constant.
We've hit the end of the road.
Yeah.
So,
and I like the concept of the block is also sometimes just like I don't want you to have access to me anymore.
100%. And that is the case, as I said, for instance, where I'm like, look, I'm not necessarily saying anything, but I'm just like, the chances, I must also just keep on that. The chances are that I just don't, if something does come along, I don't want to, once again, if you find out, you find out. I'm not, but I don't want to be the one to rub it in your face.
I think that's nice. I think that's very
And
great.
yeah, and because once again, like I always try and think about it, you got to always remember that the person that you broke up with, at some point you loved them.
Yes.
So why do you want to hurt them now that you may be hurt, or whatever the case?
You see, it's this maturity that needs to be spread out now. Everybody needs to, this kind of works to have answers like that.
But at the end of the day, that also comes with one thing. Firstly, you need to want to change it, and secondly, you got to put in the work.
You got to put in a lot of work.
It just doesn't come. And you know what? Like, fortunately, I'm somebody who likes learning. So because I like learning, maybe it made it easier. And also, like me going to therapy, like everyone, because I like talking, I'm like, therapy is my thing.
I think it's also a case of you had that strength to put your ego to the side, because the ego needs to it needs to be put away for a little bit to do that work. And the main issue is males and females. It's not like a certain sex. It's everybody has this ego and they don't know how to put it aside for like the greater good.
And the scariest part is, if I could suggest anything, is you should do that in your relationship before it gets to this. Because like, I look at my pride, how it got me into so many bad situations because I just couldn't let it go. You know what I'm saying?
Me too. Honestly, me too.
And at the end of the day, I saw a video where somebody says, fight shouldn't be about who's right and who's wrong. It should be about trying to understand each other, and then like sort of, it's like a knot. So you've got a knot that's now stopping the flow of things. So unpacking it and be like, okay, I don't necessarily agree with what you're saying or doing or whatever the case is, but maybe try and explain it to me. I can then at least understand where you're coming from. I might still not agree with it, but instead of me looking at you as the enemy in the fight, like, I've got to beat this person. Like, you know, I've got to be right.
Like a huge thing for why can't we agree to disagree?
100%. I do agree with that. I just think that there's boundaries to where they can be applied.
Yeah, you can't always just be like, no effort put in. Oh, we're going to agree to disagree.
Yeah,
no, you got to do the work, and then there's going to be some things
where it's something trivial, like toothpaste squeeze from the top or the bottom. Okay, that's trivial stuff. There we can agree to disagree.
Yes.
How we should raise our kids.
I think we got a good day.
I don't think you can hit the I agree to disagree.
No, I don't think you can hit that one.
Yeah, it's like I want our kids to just have like free reign, and they can just say what they want and do what, and we're not going to put limits
we can just
on
be
them.
hippies.
Yeah, and the other person's like, no, these kids need structure.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, well, let's agree to disagree.
No, we cannot do that.
Not agree.
Okay, yeah, I definitely agree with that.
So when it comes to, I think, more critical decisions, I think you need to agree. And in fact, the other thing that I'm learning is compatibility.
Compatibility is a huge thing.
And that's also why, for instance, I sometimes say there's that exception to the rule on the 90 days, because sometimes 90 days is a very short period when you're trying to figure out compatibility. You know, like I'm going, geez, you know what, like 90% of the stuff compatible on. But now in the 90 days, we haven't really had an argument. So I don't know how you deal with arguments.
But I've also learned that you can be 90% compatible, but that one thing in that 10% can take you out.
100%.
I mean, like, what's your stance on opposites attract?
Yes and no. So yes, I do think you need to have differences, because once again, as I said, drawing, coloring in, you need to have people that what I lack you bring, and what you bring or what you lack I bring. But also, once again, fundamentals, you can't be opposite.
No, I don't think I agree with opposites attract.
So, like, I'll tell you where I don't agree. If you're an extremely introverted person and I'm an extremely extroverted person,
that won't work. Tried it twice. Didn't work.
It doesn't. Because at the end of the day, you need to have similar interests. Like, I'm sporty, you're not sporty. I'm a dog person, you're not a dog person.
Yeah, it's going to be on those things that you're doing very often. Yeah. You have to be compatible there.
I'd say the foundations have to be similar, but I do think, like, for instance, a little bit of opposites attract, in the sense that now I've got to really think of something to back up.
I mean, I can give an example. Like, me and my ex, we were pretty similar in terms of like thought process, in terms of like what we wanted in life one day. But we were total opposites in like hobbies. Let's say, like, he loves his motorbikes. I couldn't care less about a motorbike. But for him, I would go on a ride with him once in a while and things like that. And I don't know, there were certain things with me that I really liked that he wouldn't have to embark on. So those things you definitely can. But the general thing was that we were both extroverted people who were very open-minded to trying things. And then that's why those things that both of us liked, we were okay trying. But my previous one was like, he was very introverted, never really wanted to explore, wasn't really into doing outdoorsy things, a gamer, things like that. I was the total opposite. That's never going to work, So yeah, you can have the fundamentals.
Yeah, I think the fundamentals, they can't be opposites on. But I think the more minor things. So as I said, like when I say opposite attraction, here's maybe a good example. You can't have two hard-ass people in a relationship. Like there's got to be give somewhere. So somebody's got to be the slightly softer person, and the other one's going to be the more harder person. In the sense that if you're stubborn and I'm stubborn, and we're just going to
going nowhere
and tongue at it. We're probably not going to get there. But where, for instance, I see this in most, if you want to call it, successful relationships.
I love how we keep using successful relationships.
Well, because
you never know.
That's the thing. I mean, mine was 18 years, and I thought, you know what I'm saying? You think now after like 15 years, you're like, I got the sus thing.
I just want to put that out there though. I think it was Angelina Jolie or one of these like big stars where she had said that I'm not sure why people are under the impression that just because I got divorced, I didn't have a successful relationship. While I was in it, it was very successful.
Yeah.
Then now we're apart. And I liked that logic. You had 18 years of success.
Yeah, and once again, and like I always say that there were so many great things that had come from it. And I guess I do agree with that comment as well. When I just say successful as in, I always see successful as in at law.
It went on forever,
where for instance, if it doesn't,
we're like 60 and still married.
Then I think that's a very successful relationship. But so from that perspective, I'm actually trying to think what I was saying about it.
Oh no, we diverted.
Yeah. No, anyway, so like if you look at people that have successful relationships, you always sort of have the one that wears the trousers, and then you have the other one that. So you always have.
It's like the primary decision maker and the one that's sort of And
then you have like the person that's like really hard or that's like very difficult, and then the more softer person. So you always like, I can see it. I'll go, okay, and 90% of the time, it's the women that are the wear the pants. So like all my friends, there's only a few. Like I was fortunate, if I say fortunate from my perspective, that I was the one that wore the pants. Like, I was the dominant one in our relationship. She was the submissive one. I was the more dominant one. But in the other friends of ours, most of them are all the women.
I think I've morphed into the submissive. Like with my first relationship, I was like very hard or whatever. But as I also got older, I realized I didn't want to be the alpha. I actually don't. And I really like that part of the old school setup of like, I like when my man is the alpha and where like, I don't want to think I'm okay with you just telling me what to do. Like things like that. I'm perfectly okay with being the one that colors in.
Yes.
And doesn't have to think about everything else that has to make up the picture.
And I do think that is because once again, it doesn't mean that you're losing anything.
Yeah.
But I do think, as you say, maybe an attractive feature in a man is somebody who takes charge rather than you have to be pushing him all the time.
Yeah.
Come on, let's go. Let's do this. You got to go and find a job. You can't just sit at home all day.
No, it can't be the ambition for both of us.
100%.
So, I mean, no, I would still like to have the alpha. And I don't want to be the alpha.
And that's why I say, like, for instance, I just noticed it with a lot of our friends, the men are the, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, 3 bags full, ma'am. When the woman talks, they listen. You're like, oh, we're going out for drinks. I just got to run it past the
I mean, there really is that thing, right? Of like, oh, I got to ask what do they call the ball and chain?
Yeah, I've got to get a permission slip signed first.
The pass out.
So we're like, for me, but then also it went both ways in the sense that you didn't have to ask me permission to go out. You just, my biggest thing is just give me fair warning. So like, don't come home tonight to me like I'm going out because I might have made plans.
It's not permission, it's consideration.
Yeah. It's like, I might have made plans. So it's like, I might have been like, okay, I'm going to take you out for dinner tonight. And you come home, oh, I'm going out for so-and-so. And I'm like, I go, well, there goes my plans.
No, you have to have the consideration.
If you give me fair warning, then I can be like, okay, well, then I will try and arrange something myself to also go out.
Yeah.
And so that it's not a case of this week you're out with your friends, next week I'm out, so now we like sort of not spending.
Yeah, let's try and do it sort of at the same time.
Then we don't miss out on time together as
I
much.
agree with that.
So, so like as I said, like I've always been like,
there'll always be some instances where naturally you can't plan everything, but
No.
I do agree with trying to make sure it does overlap.
100%. Like if like for instance, like very seldom, but I do agree with you. It does occasionally happen where somebody would like come meet for a drink, and you're like, okay, she's still working, and then next minute it's like, I'm out now. But then you see, then there are a lot of times I'll be like, listen, do you want to come and join?
Yeah, just come
join, like, and then you'll phone his wife and be like, okay, let's just make an evening out of it. Unless we're in the point where, okay, me and him need to have a serious chat about something, and it's like, listen, we can't have the girls.
Which is also fine to go to your partner then and just be like, look, I know it's quite last minute, but like, the person actually really needs me today. I'm just going to go, whatever.
100%.
I think that's also perfectly fine.
And also the reason for me being like that is because I'm not a jealous person, because firstly, I've been in a relationship where the other person has been very jealous, and it's very draining. And like the way I look at it, like, I can't worry about what you're up to every day.
No.
If you're up to no good, it will come out.
It will. Oh,
when it comes out, best you run.
Yeah.
But I'll only start worrying about it that day. I'm not going to be, because like, for instance, my relationship, we broke up because I was continuously being accused of messing around. And when I say with no valid reason at all, if I'm 15 minutes late, it's like, who you see? I'm like, Jesus. This other chick must be very low expectations.
Yeah,
I'm happy with 15 minutes of your time every day.
Like, what are we doing? And I still have to like get there, get whatever we're doing, and go home within 15 minutes.
So, but the one thing that I did like that is the fact that she thought I was such a catch that every woman is throwing.
She thought they were lining up.
So I was like, I love this. I like it. Yeah.
But that's probably an example of like she's had the past trauma, or maybe someone who's done that before, and then now it's projecting on you.
And that's the thing. And like I can tell you categorically, never cheated on any of my partners. And like with her, like if she had to ask me, because she did ask me once we broke up, like, okay, you don't owe me anything now, did you? And I was like, no, never.
I really didn't. Yeah.
But the point is, we technically broke up because of all my cheating, not because I did it, but because we used to argue about it all the time. And then eventually the fighting is what killed the relationship.
Continuous fight.
So we never broke up because I actually cheated. We broke up because we were continuously fighting.
Because you were constantly defending yourself.
Yeah. And the thing is also, as I said, it's like, I'll give you an example. Like, I'd be sitting on the train and I'd just be like staring into like the abyss type thing. And Lord, if there's a chick sitting there,
oh no,
I'd just be like, are you fucking checking that chick out?
Meanwhile, you as a man, you probably can't just like.
And no, I literally was. I was like probably just daydreaming there, going like, okay, we're gonna get to the next station, and it would be things like that. Or like the one day we went to go fill up our cars together, and we left the garage. I didn't even see this pretty girl driving in, if I'm deadly honest with you. And she was like, I saw you checking that chick out at the garage.
Oh no!
And I was like, where? As we were coming out, and I was like, I don't even know what she looks like. You know,
no.
I mean, like when
I wouldn't be able to deal with
like
that.
when I was in my marriage, and a lot of times they'd be like, "Did you see that girl with the nice boobs?" And I'm like,
"No,
I really didn't," because my ex wasn't jealous. If I wanted to, I could have said, "Oh yeah, I did see the boobs, whatever." I just don't.
Jealousy definitely can just kill it.
For me, 3 foundations for a successful communication is number 1.
Comprehension.
Communication. You like. Anything can be solved if we discuss it. Yes, I understand you might have some irrational feelings towards something.
That's fine.
But explain them to me so I can better understand them. And even though I still think they're irrational, then I'll be like, how can I? So if you say, I hate it when you're out with the guys, then I'll be like, okay, so what can I
Let's
do?
dissect it a little bit.
What can I do that I can still see the guys and that you would then feel comfortable? Like, every 2-hour check-in being like, hi, we're still here, whatever the case is. I'm going to
find some solutions.
But if you just like mess with me all the time and I'm like, what's wrong? I'm fine.
Okay, so communication,
loyalty, and trust. So when I say trust and loyalty, could sort of almost be the same thing, but
trust it's like with many other things as well.
I need to be able to know that you say what you're going to do, or you do what you say you're going to do. And then loyalty from the point of perspective, in the sense that I know, like I always say, when I'm not in a room, you got my back.
Yeah. That's also really important. That's really, really important.
Now give us yours, and I think then we'll end it on that bombshell.
Okay, 3 of mine. I think, like you said, comprehension is one, but I think from experience, comprehension is more of it. Like, we can communicate till we're red in the face, but if we're not comprehending each other, then we got nothing. So I'd say maybe those two go hand in hand.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Loyalty is obviously always going to be there. I'm not a jealous person, but I am a possessive person.
Okay.
So I'm not going to accuse you of stuff, this, that, and other. But if there is someone who is like continuously talking to you somewhere, and then I've gone to her and said like, hey, can you just back off a little bit? And she continues that, you will ignite something in me for sure. So, but that won't be on his part. It'll be on like,
you see,
whoever's trying it.
Okay, yeah. So you see, I actually like it more if you come to me and be like, listen, just throwing it out there. That girls like fucking always around you, blah blah. And then I'll be like, okay, because once again, and this is one thing I will say, us men are very oblivious to things.
Or oblivious.
Women will be throwing themselves at you, and you'll be like, I wonder if she likes me. But she's like been looking in your direction like the whole evening, like doing her hair, whatever.
Yeah, you guys can really be so oblivious to things.
So, but if you come to me like this, then I'll be like, okay, I know a lot of times I do that. I'll be like, I don't think so. But then I know, then I'm like, okay, you know what? Because I feel like it's my job to then step in. Because I don't want people to think you're possessive or jealous or whatever the case may be. So I'd rather be like, I'm removing myself from the situation rather than you coming and removing.
I mean, look, if you are going to be someone that's going to remove yourself from the situation, then naturally that would be the best thing, right? But if someone like, maybe your partner is in a very naive or oblivious state and doesn't realize, and so maybe you sometimes have to go straight to the source. I just think like to let you know as a male, we know how women behave. If we say that sentence, you saying, I don't think so will mean nothing.
No.
We know how women behave. We know how we behave with people we're flirting with, things like that. If we get the feeling, we are right. I won't even allow a male to debate that.
No, and I will agree with you. The reason I would probably say that is because we always try and be like, I don't know, like I don't think this chick is fucking into me. But you say, but that's why like I'd rather you come to me and be like, listen, this chick's like being a bit overboard, and then I'll be like, as I said, because I'd rather go there and be like, okay, cheers guys, I'm gonna go and then like take myself away, and then like if I see her like following me around, let's say for instance as that, then I'll just keep like unless it gets to the point where it's now starting I'll be like, hey,
the thing is, it's okay for you to also directly just say to someone like, hey, like, like my chick is right there, do you mind just like backing off of it? I think that's also okay, because you shouldn't have to always extract yourself from a situation as well. What if I do want to continue being in this whole conversation, but the one person is just not acting completely right?
Yeah.
So we should be able to just,
100%.
maturely be like, hey, can you just back off a little bit? Whatever.
Yeah. Well, like maybe make it quite, oh, have you met my girlfriend who I'm so madly in love with?
That's also like an okay one. Just be like, hey, Georgie, just come here quick.
Yeah, like, like I'm loving my life.
I mean, you don't have to lay it on that thing.
Nah, I think it would.
But trust me, women know. We know the behavior of a woman that is so respectful, and we know the behavior of a woman who is willing to stray.
Okay.
And that's why when we say it to you, we're 100%.
But yeah, you see, that's why I say I'd rather you say it to me, and then I can be like, okay, let me remove myself.
I'll rather extract myself.
Because as I said, like I don't really, because I can understand where you're coming from, but other people might be like, oh, that's a bit weird. She's like, like, oh, his girlfriend came here and she gave me a, she was like, why are you looking at my man? And then
why are you looking at my man?
and then it portrays you to trace.
You said that with like sass.
Yeah, a little bit scary, eh?
So to end off my last one is family values.
Okay.
So like, I have a very close family. Like I've once said to you, we celebrate irrelevantly for everything.
Yeah.
Like you can like, I don't know, get a new phone or be like, champagne, let's celebrate. You can afford a phone. Like we are very close. We all intertwined in each other's lives. We all help each other through absolutely everything. And we all huddle. So any person that's going through anything bad, whether it be breakup, intense health, anything like that, everybody else huddles. And I need someone who knows how to fit into that. They need to be able to fit into my family. And I do the same for them. I really do. Like I'm that person, like I'll call your mom and your brother and sister, whatever, without you even knowing, to see how they're doing or if they need something, whatever. I need that type of, we need to fit in like that. Otherwise for me, we got nothing. if you don't know how to fit into those dynamics, you know.
And it makes sense. It maybe also speak volumes of your sort of your family dynamic. Because I don't think that's a very common one out of girls, if I can put it that way. But 100% it makes sense. Because I always like, that's another way I look at things. What's important to you must become important to me. So like, if like, yeah, sure, maybe family is not massive to me, but like, once again, if I care about you, then whatever is important to you is important.
Yeah.
So, and hence the fact, like, as you said, like going on motorbike rides, even though it wasn't something that was your thing, but you were like, look, it was important to him, then you made the time and the effort. And which is always, I won't lie to you, you know, that from a woman or from a man's perspective, things about a woman, there's almost nothing that can sort of push you over the edge more than when you can see effort.
Oh, yeah?
In the sense of, like, for me, it's like, if I can see, like, you know what, you really want to work at this and you really try and it's not forced, then it's like, okay, I like that.
Okay.
Because I
like that initiative.
Yeah, not just, I like the fact, once again, like I can say, I've got a partner, not a dependent, if you know what I'm saying.
True.
Like, I want you to also be like, okay, we're doing this shit together. So like, I'm keen, like, if like that, almost that thing of like, we gotta go, we're gonna hurt some people,
Yeah.
blah blah.
What time we going?
Okay, yeah,
Wait, what car we taking?
Yeah, which car we going? You know, like that. I don't need to. Yeah, I'm with you. Whatever we're gonna do, doesn't matter.
That's the goal. That's the goal.
That is sort of. So that's why I say, from a girl perspective or from a guy's perspective about girls, if you meet somebody like already, if I just can see like, shit, this girl's making like a serious effort to, like, for instance, if you're not a dog person, but you're making an effort to, like,
listen, effort is so attractive.
Yeah,
it really is. It really, really is. And continuous effort is even more attractive.
Is even better, yeah. And that's also where I guess people need to have their lines where it's like, how long can you put up this facade if you are putting up a facade? You know, like, okay, you can make like you like dogs, but for how long?
For how long can you really? Yeah. So you start getting irritated that they stay on things and that they're jumping and all of that. Yeah.
100%. So that's where you got to also don't be what you're not. So if you're not a dog person, you're like, this is an issue. And even though I do like you, I can see long term, this is going to become a problem.
100%.
Oh, yeah. Anyway.
On that note, let's do this again.
Yes. Same place, same time.
Yeah. Cool. Everyday shit.
Everyday shit.
And we're out.